Hey everyone, my name is Matt Spencer and I'm the broker at Rocksteady Group. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Today is going to be a quick minute on some agent tips. So anybody can watch it, but I try to give some tips and ideas to agents, mostly new, rookies. I know I learned a lot of lessons the hard way. A lot of people in real estate are your competition, not your mentors. So I try to just share some knowledge that I've gained, and I got a lot more to go. I've been in this 7 years and I learn stuff every day. So where I got you today is, I think it's focused on me, Piccadilly Street in Norfolk. It's a rental that we're managing. The highway is just to my right, so it's a little noisy because we're at rush hour. Norfolk Airport's, as a bird flies, like a mile away. We're like in Norview. 3-bedroom, 1 bath, rent's $12.50. I got a string of people meeting me here today, so that's what I'm doing here, and I had a few minutes to kill. So I want to give you a couple off the cuff, not really planned tips and tricks. Let me turn you around for a minute. Or not. There we go. So, see if I can remember. I ran through these in my head. A sign. If you pull up to this is for agents. If you pull up to a house and the sign's down, like if the wind blew it, take a few minutes to help your colleague out. Keep little clips, paper clips, I don't care, zip ties in your car. Fix people's sign when you see them down, whether they do it for you or not. I'm breaking my own rules here because I'm here for a while. You'll rarely ever see me park in the driveway. Almost always park in the street when I'm showing property to people. So let me start over. The tips are on showing property to clients, buyers. Park in the street. If the client chooses to park in the driveway, that's great. That gives them a sense of what it's like to come home, see if their car fits. You know, they might not like what you drive and they want to see what their car looks like in front of the house, or no car in front of the house. So rarely will I ever pull in the driveway. Another tip is a lot of houses have CBS codes, and it stands for call before showing. It's just a secondary password. So to show a property, first off, the agent has to have the app to access these boxes that then give the listing agent information right away about who's there and what time they arrived. Sometimes there's a secondary password, and it's definitely a good idea to have those on homes as the listing agent, especially occupied homes. It's just another layer of liability that someone can't just pop by with their password. They have to have your password and their password kind of thing. So CBS codes, I can't remember anything past a 4-digit number in my head. If it's over 4 digits long, I got to write it down. Well, the app to open the lockbox is on your phone. So if you're trying to access your phone, let alone you're standing in the sprinkling rain on a touch screen and there's no overhead, on the listing that you bring with you, or on your hand or on a piece of paper, I suggest write the CBS code down. Next thing is the camera. This one's not a Ring, but so many houses now have Ring doorbells. Ring doorbells, little Wise cams, Amazon cameras. There's cameras everywhere. You can't even see them. They're hidden like literally in the teddy bear eyes. We'll talk more about that in the house. But be prepared and prepare your clients at your buyer consult, not here at the house, about cameras. They should know that before you arrive, because a Ring camera can pick up the conversation in the street. So you don't want the seller always listening to what you're talking about. We'll come back to that. So be mindful of those. Next thing is, I got 2 rules of thumb, and these are tips and tricks for new agents. Remember that. So once you start developing your own things, do your thing. But I either leave the key in the door while I'm showing the house, or I put it in my pocket. It just depends on the scenario, who I'm showing the house to. Do they have a bunch of kids that might take the key? You know, not to get into details, but like neighborhoods, like, you know, you don't want to leave the key in the door sometimes. But I like it in the door because that means it's impossible for me to lock in the house. That's my alternative motive. Another rule that I meant to say before I walked in is always knock. I know this house is vacant. I've already been in here today. But even when you know it's a rehab and it's vacant, pictures are vacant, the agent says no one's home, knock and wait. You know, don't knock and go in. Knock, wait, knock, then go in. I usually always announce myself as I'm coming through the door. Hey, friendly real estate agent, don't shoot, you know, make a joke of it. I've had people answer back, homeless people, guys that could have shot back. I mean, I got plenty of stories. I'm going to end this video on a funny story with that. So always knock, figure out what you're going to do with the key, and I suggest in the door or in your pocket. This house does not have a storm door. So you got to keep in mind, like, is it super hot outside? Is it super cold? Are we wasting sellers' heat and air? But there's also the liability of it. So a lot of people you meet and show houses to, you might know really well. It might be like Christina goes with me a lot when we show property, just cause. But sometimes you're meeting total strangers, which is never really a good idea to meet at the house. You should always have a buyer consult somewhere that you know, public place or at your office or their house or something. But what I'm getting at is I like to leave the door open, especially somebody I've met for the first time or don't even know that well. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a male or a guy, whatever. I don't like going into a vacant, empty house and closing the door behind me with anybody, really. So I like leaving doors open. It's not that cold today, so I would leave the door open here. If they got a storm door, problem solved. So key in the door, leave the door open. Those are two of my rules if I can help it. We talked about announcing. I'm going to give you a couple more pointers. I could do this for a long time. I'm just trying to give you some of the basic ones. You know, as the agent, like if my wife goes with me, one of her jobs is like run through and kick all the lights on. You're helping yourself out. You're helping the listing agent out. That way you can also keep track of what lights are actually on. Because you want to try to leave houses like you find them. Let's talk about a bathroom for a minute. This was a tip and trick I learned. Let me turn you around so you can see the place too. Tip I learned a while ago. A lot of people have kids. Kids are constantly having to use the restroom, it seems, when we're showing property. It's like the thing they do at every house. Y'all know who you are. A toilet will always, if the toilet has water in the bowl or in the tank, you're going to get one flush for sure. A toilet will lie to you if the water's on because you can get that one flush. A sink, if you let it run for a few minutes and it has that much pressure, you're good to go. You can use the bathroom here. The water pressure drops pretty fast. It's at like 40 psi. As soon as the water's off, it don't run for more than like 2 seconds. The toilet will fake you out. So whether someone uses the bathroom and it's always number 2 and the water's off and they didn't test it, either way, try to avoid that. But if you can't help it, you got an emergency, you got some kids or whoever that needs an emergency, carry a bottle of water with you. Carry jugs of water. It can be tap water, doesn't matter. I carry bottles of water so I can share it with people if they want it while we're out looking at houses. But 2, 3, 4 bottles of water can flush just about anything. So always carry bottles of water with you so you can leave the house like you found it. Back here, we've got an alarm panel. When you're setting up showings, always ask, is there a CBS code? Is there an alarm? If there's an alarm, ask them where the panel is, because some of these things give you like 15 seconds. And you want to be able to kind of rush in blindly or use the MLS pictures to figure out where the heck the panel's at. Ask them how to use it, because every panel is a little different. I don't think I got anything to say on this part. Fridges, yes I do. If a house is occupied, the fridge is probably a safe bet. If it's a foreclosure, if it's a vacant house, if it's been renovated, it's most likely a new fridge, so take that out of the equation. But if it's a foreclosure especially, I don't know why people like to open fridges, but they do. It can be the nastiest looking 70s, 1960s fridge, but they want to look inside of it. I promise you don't want to open that door, because if a house has had no power, especially in the summer, once you open the door, everyone's got like 5 to 10 seconds to get out of the house. And it's going to be like that for hours, so be prepared. But I try to beat people, or in my little buyer consults, tell them don't open fridges on empty, vacant houses. Fridge will get you. Another tip is, this isn't a garage. This is just a utility room. But just for a minute, it's not even the best example because there's no deadbolt, but just say that's the garage door. As you're coming with your clients, you want to be friendly, talkative, informative, all that good stuff. But try to beat them to either the back door, but for this exact one, I'm referring to like a door from a kitchen to a garage, or like an interior room to a attached garage. You really want to figure out what lock configuration it is there. If the tenants beat you there, I'm showing property. If your client beats you to those doors, you don't know how they were found. So if they beat you there and unlock this, that might have been locked, the deadbolt, or vice versa. You will just want to leave it like you found it. And the reason why that's a big deal is because some people have lived in their house for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and their method is always to park in the garage and come in through that door. And some of them don't have a key to both locks. Sometimes they don't have a key to either. Whatever it is, if it's my listing, we usually put tape over stuff and put a note. But that could get knocked down, get lost, thrown away. Bottom of the line is beat your client to the doors that lead to garages, because I promise you, if you don't do it right, you're going to get a call 20 minutes to 4 hours later. When they come home, the listing agent's like an hour away because they took a listing so far away, or they're out of town, and it's going to be kind of your responsibility to go in there and let those people in, and they're not always happy. Even though you drove out of your way for an hour on a Friday night, you locked them out of their house is the way they view it. So then you got to go back and face the music. So ask your people, hey, how'd you find the house? How'd you find it? When in doubt, you have to lock it up. So I'd rather get in trouble for someone being mad at me about locking them out versus someone calling the cops and being mad at me and saying that I didn't lock the house up tight and now someone broke in the house or just walked in the house. So I kind of rambled through that section, but try to figure out the way the locks are and the light switches are before your client does. And I think that's it for now. Again, I can give you more and more things, but for the funny story, this was quite a while ago. If they ever watch this, they'll know who they are. I had clients that had to get to work by like 8 or 9 a.m. and they really wanted to see this property. So we set it up for like 7:30 in the morning before everybody went to work. The listing agent said the owners are out of town, go anytime. There was an alarm. She gave me the code. We show up and the storm door was locked. So we're there at like, I don't know, 7 something. Storm door's locked, which is, they went out of town. They probably weren't thinking, okay, that could happen. Finally get a hold of the listing agent. The time's ticking. And we can't find a way in the front, but she says the key works the back door. So I said, there's a fence. I can jump the fence. I don't mind crawling up over it and jumping. It was like a tall wooden fence. I said, I just, want your permission. It's a little sketchy. Neighbors might say something, but these people had to go to work, and it was like the last day they could see the house for a while, so I'm going to do what I got to do. So the agent puts it in writing, gives me their blessing to go across the fence, go in the back door. I get to the back door. The key works. I follow my own instructions. I knock several times. I announce myself as I'm going in the house. It's all pitch black. As I'm walking to the front door to let my clients in, and Christina, the alarm starts going off. And I'm like, geez. Actually, I don't think they gave me the alarm code because for some reason it wasn't supposed to be set. So I don't think I even had the alarm code. It's been like 5 years ago. Either way, I get to the front door. It's early in the morning. The alarm's going off. My people are giggling like, what do we do? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll just come in. Let's see if we can figure this out. And then I hear like a, hello, who's in here? And a little sweet lady upstairs sleeping. The listing agent, bless her heart, there was some communication breakdown between her and the seller. I don't know who it was, but the lady was definitely home. And so she's upstairs sleeping because she worked all night or something, and now we got strangers in the downstairs. So we ran out of there, locked up, and got in our cars and went down a few cul-de-sacs. Then I called the listing agent, figured everything out, rescheduled. It all worked out. It was just a big laugh. But while it's a laugh, suppose she didn't say hello. Suppose she came downstairs with a shotgun, Cops. Suppose a neighbor. You could just play that out in so many ways. It could be really bad for all of us. Not necessarily because we did anything wrong, just bad communication, bad effects, But I think that's just one little story I wanted to share with you. I have plenty more. All right, one more thing I've thought about. Locked up, lights are off. We went over all that. Your phone is your key to, literally is your key to getting in and out of the house. So come up with some method before you pull that door shut, or before you click the lockbox shut. So mine's like a double tap on my phone. Wherever it's a back pocket, front pocket. If Christina had it because she was looking up stuff, I'm like, hey, you got the phone. One time in 7 years have I left the key and or my phone in the house. That was it. That's all it took was that one time of being embarrassed because I think the keys were there too, so I didn't have a vehicle. It was a mess. To add to that, this house was down the street from where we used to live. The next morning when I drove by, that house was actually burnt down pretty good. It was rebuildable, so I shouldn't say down, but it was burnt pretty bad. And you talk about like a stomach dropping and worried you had done something. Luckily, like 5 other people had shown the property since I had. And so either way, I guess it wasn't me, but someone had left the exhaust fan on in the bathroom and it overheated. It shouldn't, so there was definitely a problem. But that house burnt down. So that story helps me remember my whole double tap keep up with what you got. Thanks.